Shocking truth revealed. When cops struck this black woman, they discovered she was their boss. The leaves crunched beneath Lisa's worn sneakers as she walked home, the crisp autumn air filling her lungs. The remnants of the community event she just left still buzzed in her mind. It had been a night of connection, youth and police officers finally sharing stories instead of stares. She felt a warm glow of hope, a glimmer of promise for a better tomorrow. But the serenity of the moment shattered as she turned the corner and stumbled into chaos that a young boy she recognized from her nonprofit stood in a standoff with two police officers, their faces twisted in anger, fingers hovering near their holstered weapons. Fear pulsed through the air, thick as smoke. "What are you doing here, Malik?" Her heart raced as she rushed forward. The boy's shoulders slumped, eyes darting anxiously. A chill settled over her. This was all too familiar. "Step back," one officer barked, raising his hand as if she were an incoming threat. "You don't want to get involved in this." But Lisa was not one to back down. "I'm the director of a nonprofit you just attended." The steady timbre of her voice cut through the tension like a knife. The world around her fell silent, the realization dawning on the officers as their eyes widened in disbelief. Here stood a woman who had tirelessly advocated for the very youth they saw as trouble. The moment froze. Shock rippled through the crowd that had gathered, a mix of wide eyes and open mouths. Lisa felt the warmth of empathy rush through her, a surge of energy pushing her forward. She reached out, not in aggression, but as a bridge between the two worlds clashing in front of her. "We're all trying to do better," she insisted, her voice unwavering. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue." Malik watched his mother with a tight chest, amazement twinkling in his eyes. Here she was, standing in the face of prejudice, courage shining brighter than the streetlights around them. Yet as the officers slowly lowered their hands, Lisa felt a storm brewing within. Was this truly a moment of reconciliation, or just a flash in the pan? "Ma'am, we were just," one officer stammered, clearly caught off guard. The crowd murmured, their emotions brimming at the surface. Honeyed words of compassion began to flow. More community members stepped forward, demanding justice for their own, validating Lisa's presence and purpose. Yet alongside the cheers, a bitter question loomed. Would this act of bravery extend beyond the street corner, or would it fade into another chapter of misunderstanding? As the night wore on, each heartbeat echoed the challenges they faced, races divided, hearts heavy with history. Just then, Lisa's phone buzzed with an ominous message from the police department, a request for a meeting. Her breath hitched in her throat. Would this lead to healing or another divide? The choice hung in the air, thick with possibility, a confrontation that could alter the course of many lives. Eyeing her son's hopeful face, she felt uncertain yet resolute. One step ahead could mean the difference between progress or further despair. Lisa stood at the crossroads of uncertainty and hope, her heart pounding as she glanced at Malik. He looked up at her, eyes wide, faith hanging on her every breath. Was this the moment that could mend the rift or deepen it? She turned her attention back to the officers. Their faces lacked hostility now, but tension still clung to the air like an unwanted fog. "Let him go," she urged, her voice a firm plea. "He's just a kid." The officers exchanged glances, the weight of the moment washing over them. They seemed to hesitate, perhaps grappling with the unexpected role reversal. This was the woman they had just met, the one they had initially viewed with skepticism. She was asking them to see the child they were confronting not as a threat, but as part of a community they all served and often failed. He was in a place he shouldn't have been," one officer finally answered defensively, the badge on his chest gleaming cold in the streetlight. "Does he look like a criminal to you?" She shot back, her heart aching for Malik as he shifted uncomfortably, caught in the crossfire of adult dilemmas. He is trying to find his way, just like everyone else here. The crowd, now encircling the scene, began murmuring louder, united for the first time. They echoed her words, chanting Malik's name, each voice a testament to the hope she ignited just moments before. Lisa wasn't just a director of a nonprofit. She was a voice of the community, the bridge they needed. This was the first time they all felt like they had agency. Then, like a game of dominoes, one officer relented and slowly holstered his weapon. The other followed, the air thick with a mixture of relief and disbelief. Lisa stepped closer, reaching out her hand to Malik, who took it gratefully, squeezing tight as if it were a lifeline. "Thank you," he whispered, a tiny shudder of fear escaping with those two words. They weren't out of the woods yet, but this moment felt monumental. She felt the weight begin to lift, the beginning of a long-overdue dialogue. But just as the air crackled with the possibility of change, a second message chimed in her pocket. The police chief wanted to meet, urgently. The request haunted her. Should she accept? Was it an olive branch or merely a way to appease the community without any real intention of change? "I'll handle it, Malik," she said softly, kneeling to meet his gaze. "You're safe now." As they turned to head home, the crowd slowly dispersed, hope lingering in the autumn air like the fading light of day. Lisa's heart was still heavy with doubt, but her feet moved forward, propelled by uncertainty and strength. What lay ahead was uncharted territory, a precarious balance of truth and trust. She knew this single moment wouldn't change everything. It was merely a spark. But how far could that spark travel? With her heart in her throat, she pulled out her phone. The message was still there, waiting for her response. What if this meeting could hold untold potential? Or would it be just another conversation leading nowhere? As Lisa looked out into the dimming street, she realized she stood at the brink of something greater. Would she give voice to the fear that twisted her stomach, or step boldly into the unknown? The following day dawned crisp and clear, yet Lisa's heart felt heavy under the weight of the decision she knew awaited her. She stood in the kitchen, staring out the window as the sun spilled light across the neighborhood. Children played on the street, laughter ringing through the air, and for a moment she found solace in the ordinary. But today would be anything but ordinary. Her phone buzzed again, a reminder of the impending meeting that loomed like a shadow. The police chief wanted to meet at noon, but she didn't know if she was ready to face the man who could determine the course of community relations in their town. It felt like a game of chess. Every move would count. As the clock crept toward noon, doubt gnawed at her. Lisa paced the room, the echo of Malik's fear still fresh in her mind. They were on the brink of something major, but was she prepared to take that leap? She needed to remember how the night felt, the strength in their gathering, the chant of Malik's name. That unity was palpable, and it fueled her resolve. She arrived at the station, the reinforced walls looming around her, a stark representation of authority and tension. The officers on duty eyed her with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. Would they remember last night, or would it just be another incident they swept under the rug? With each step toward the chief's office, Lisa felt the pulse of the community behind her. She was representing more than just herself now. She was carrying the hopes of those who had stood by Malik. It was a heavy burden, but one she wore with fierce pride. "Miss Nelson, thank you for coming," the police chief began as she entered his office. He was a tall man, clad in uniform, his expression unreadable. The walls were plastered with accolades, yet behind those commendations lay a history that Lisa suspected wasn't entirely benevolent. "Let us get straight to the point," she began, her voice steady despite the tremor in her heart. "Last night was a turning point in our community. What are you prepared to do to ensure it doesn't happen again?" The chief shifted in his seat, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. "I want to have a conversation, Lisa. We need to work together." The words felt rehearsed, a mere attempt at reconciling what had been broken. "But what does together mean to you?" She pressed, not letting her guard down. Words 1 heal the scars left by years of distrust. He appeared taken aback, the momentum shifting as she laid her cards on the table. The department aims to foster better relations. There are initiatives underway. Community outreach programs mean nothing if they aren't backed by accountability. Malik is just one of many. Are you willing to take real responsibility? They exchanged words, back and forth, a battle of ideals and intentions. Frustration and hope battled within her. Every shared experience she articulated felt like a step toward digging a trench between them. Yet she didn't waver. She was there for Malik, for the community, for that spark of change. We can't keep pretending these issues don't exist, she concluded, feeling her voice rise with passion. If you truly want to change things, make promises that we can hold you to. Silence hung thick in the air like an impending storm. The tension was palpable, and for an uncomfortable moment, it felt as if she was staring down an immovable wall. But then the chief sighed, almost solemnly. I'll need your help then. The shift in his tone caught her off guard, leaving her breathless with the weight of possibility. Could it really be that simple? Could this be the first step not just for Malik, but for the community? As she left the station, a mix of trepidation and exhilaration coursed through her. But before she could fully process the meeting, her phone chimed once more. A group text. Lisa, we need to talk about Malik. Can we meet tonight? A surge of urgency rocketed through her. Was this about the incident? Had something changed? She found herself standing at the precipice of yet another crossroad, uncertain what tomorrow would bring, or what choices lay ahead. Embracing her breath, she knew that each moment was intertwined. How could one meeting with the chief open up so many more questions? And more importantly, would this be the defining moment they all needed? Lisa barely registered the bustling street around her as she made her way home. The weight of the meeting lingered in her thoughts like a persistent echo, and the quickening pace of her heart matched her hurried steps. She had bared a piece of her soul in that office, and now, all she could think about was the text waiting on her phone, the urgency in those words sending ripples of worry down her spine. As she entered her living room, the familiar clutter welcomed her, yet everything felt different. The community hadn't just rallied behind Malik. They had rallied behind her too. Their faith chased away some of her doubts, but now a new fear arose. If the police chief was finally admitting to the need for change, what exactly would that mean? For Malik, for their community, for her. She tossed her bag on the couch and grabbed her phone. The group chat was alive with messages, but one stood out. Lisa, this is bigger than we thought. Her heart raced as she clicked on the message. Who had sent it? She scrolled through the previous texts in disbelief. The shared sentiments were charged with a mix of fear and determination. Malik's case had turned into more than just an isolated incident. This was a reflection of a systematic issue, one that had been brewing beneath the surface for too long. She quickly typed, "What do you mean, bigger? Can someone fill me in?" The response was almost immediate, a meeting at a community center, the place they had gathered just days ago with chants and signs. They needed to strategize. They needed to ACT. An old friend, Sarah, texted her back. "We think there's more to Malik's situation. Evidence is coming up that could change everything for him and for our fight." The word struck her. Evidence? What kind of evidence? Could it bring them closer to justice or just more trouble? Panic twisted in her stomach while excitement burned in her chest. With a few taps, she confirmed her attendance and quickly dressed, her mind racing with thoughts of what lay ahead. What could this mean for Malik, for the town, or even for her? She could feel the gravity of it all pulling her in different directions. Lisa stepped out into the night. The air was electric. She could hear the faint sounds of laughter from neighboring homes, but it was dulled by the anticipation building inside of her. The streetlight flickered above, casting shadows that danced along with her resolve. At the community center, faces grim with determination awaited her. People she'd grown up with, individuals who had stood together in moments of hardship, were now uniting again, ready to face what lay ahead. She spotted Malik's mother, her expression weary but fierce. "Lisa," she called out as soon as she saw her. "You won't believe what we've found. We must act fast. They want to silence us. The urgency in her voice sent a shiver through Lisa. Silence? What do you mean? As Malik's mother began to speak, her words tumbled out in a rush. The officer involved had a troubling history, something that could alter the public narrative entirely, something they couldn't ignore. Lisa's breath caught. What had they unearthed? This could be devastating, yet it held a thread of hope. They were on the brink of exposing something that could reshape not only Malik's future, but the future of their community. Holding her breath, she leaned in closer, her heart racing. Tell me everything. And as she listened, the room seemed to pulse with an electric anticipation. Would they be able to turn the tide? Or would the truths they unearthed bring more danger than she ever expected? Tonight, she realized, was not just about confronting the past. It was about daring to envision a different future. But could they withstand whatever storm was brewing on the horizon? The air in the community center was thick with tension as Malik's mother shared what they had uncovered. There are reports, documents, things that the department has tried to bury. The words fell heavy in the air, propelling Lisa deeper into this urgent reality. She could feel the weight of everyone's gaze as they held their breath, waiting for more. They wanted justice. They wanted hope. But most of all, they wanted answers. What does it mean for Malik? Lisa asked, hoping against hope that this could bring them closer to justice. It means they might have to face consequences. This officer, he has been involved in other cases, serious ones, and it never came to light. We could finally do something about it, Malik's mother replied, her voice trembling with a mixture of anger and hope. Lisa's mind raced. Would this evidence really be enough to change their fate? The fear of losing Malik weighed heavily upon her. She remembered his smile, the way he lit up when they shared dreams of the future. But those dreams were hanging by a thread, and they needed to act quickly. A murmur began to spread through the room, sparking whispers of solidarity. They were fueled by a brewing resolve, each person a link in a chain of determination. It felt exhilarating and terrifying all at once. He needs to know, Sarah spoke up. He needs to be part of this. But we have to be careful. If they're willing to silence us, they will fight back harder now. Then we show them we're not backing down, Lisa said, feeling a surge of courage. They would not let fear dictate their actions any longer. This was no longer just Malik's fight. It was their fight. As the group concluded discussions, they decided to organize a rally, a show of strength and unity. They would demand transparency, justice, and reform. Lisa could see the fire igniting in everyone's eyes. First, though, they needed to confirm the validity of the evidence before proceeding. Let us split into small teams. We need to gather everything and piece it together, Lisa suggested. Let us find out what we can about this officer. If we're going to confront this, we need to be prepared. The group scattered into pairs, their energy crackling like electricity. Lisa paired with Sarah. As they brainstormed, the fear felt a little lighter. There was power in their collective will. But then, as they prepared to leave, a chill crept back into the room when Malik's mother hesitated. What if they come for us? She whispered, her voice breaking slightly. What if we do expose this and they retaliate? The question hung in the air, heavier than any doubt that had come before. Lisa looked at her, heart racing. They were ready to challenge the status quo, but the risks were real. What if their desire for justice put them on an even more dangerous path? Whatever happens, we face it together, Lisa said, her voice steady despite the quivering fear within her. If we stay united, they can't silence us. We want to let them. As she left the building, determined to meet the challenge head-on, a software notification lit up her phone. It was a video link with a caption. This isn't just about Malik anymore, it's about all of us. Lisa's heart pounded in her chest. What could possibly be on that video? Could this be the key they needed or a spiral into something more chaotic? She hesitated, staring at her phone, knowing the battle was just beginning. What awaited her on the other side of that click? Was it the spark igniting change, or would it unleash the very storm they were trying to prepare for? As Lisa took a deep breath, she knew one thing for sure. She couldn't turn back now. The screen flickered to life, illuminating Lisa's anxious features. She clicked the link, biting her lip. The video began with shaky footage of her rally voices clashing with the sound of a distant siren. It was chaos, but the message was clear. The video highlighted systemic injustices, compiling harrowing personal testimonies from families who had faced the brutality of the same police department. Lisa's breath caught in her throat as she recognized some of the faces' mothers, brothers, friends all telling their stories. Each heartbeat felt like a drum, echoing a truth they could no longer ignore. And then, the footage cut to a woman in her 50s, standing with unwavering confidence. Lisa knew her well. It was Dina, the deputy chief everyone respected. Dina was known for being tough yet caring, someone who fought for community engagement. Lisa's heart raced as Dina spoke of corruption and mishandled cases, her voice steady yet filled with an underlying urgency. The officers involved in these cases believe they are above accountability, Dina declared, her face a mask of serious determination. They have forgotten that they serve us. They protect and serve our community, not harass it. It's time for the people to reclaim their power. When the video ended, the screen dimmed to darkness again, leaving only Lisa's rapid breathing in the quiet room. Each word from Dina reverberated in her mind. Could it be true? Was the deputy chief willing to challenge her own department? Lisa, what did you find? Sarah's voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back to the present. Lisa looked up at her friend, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and hope. It's a call to action, Lisa said, her voice trembling. Dina is advocating for justice. She's risking everything. If we could somehow align with her, it could boost everything we're trying to do. But it's risky, Lisa, Sarah warned. What if the department silences her? Or worse, what if they come after us for speaking out? The stakes are high, Lisa acknowledged, her heart pounding. But she could feel the momentum shifting. Dina's voice filled her with a sense of purpose, lighting a fire in her gut. If we don't act now, we lose everything. Malik deserves this. We all do. If she's got our backs, Sarah nodded slowly, her apprehension still lingering, but she could see the passion swirling in Lisa's eyes. They had to find a way to reach out to Dina. Standing together felt like the only option, as daunting as it was. After a moment of silence, a resolute decision washed over Lisa. Let us prepare a presentation. We can show her what we collected. The community needs to be heard. If Dina is truly for justice, we can rally support around her. That night, they worked tirelessly. The group gathered again, the community center buzzing more than ever with fervor and unyielding spirit. Lisa stood at the center, urging everyone to lend a hand, their collaboration forming a tapestry of shared grief and hope. But outside the safe walls of the center, shadows loomed. Unbeknownst to them, a pair of eyes watched closely, a figure hidden in the dark, keeping track of every word spoken. As they prepared their package, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that the more they pushed, the more they might awaken something dark. Would they truly be safe? The rally was set for Saturday. Dina had confirmed her attendance. The sense of unity was intoxicating, but with it came the electric tingle of danger. As Lisa tucked her phone in her pocket, she felt a chill run down her spine. Would their intentions be noble enough to keep them safe, or would it lead to confrontation? With every step forward, she marveled at the power of their movement, wondering if it would be enough to face whatever awaited them. How strong could their bond be, and would they be tested in deeper ways than they ever imagined? Lisa's heart raced in the echo of her own bravado as she stood among the others in the community center. The energy buzzed like a live wire. Hope mingled with tension in the air. Each person there shared a commitment to make their voices heard, and it felt like they were on the brink of something big. Okay, everyone, listen up, Lisa called, standing on a chair for a better view. We have to present our findings clearly. Dina needs to see the passion in our words, the urgency in our stories. The group nodded, faces lit by the harsh glow of overhead lights. They had spent hours compiling reports, personal testimonies, and statistics that painted a stark picture of their shared struggle. Each paper felt heavy with the weight of truth, like grains of sand in a delicate hourglass, running out of time. Sarah raised her hand. What if we include Malik's story? It's powerful, and it shows the direct impact of their actions. Lisa smiled, encouraged. Yes, we need his voice. Malik symbolizes every ounce of pain we've felt. Let us not just tell our story, let us show them who we're fighting for. As they worked together, the idea of their upcoming presentation solidified into something tangible. They practiced, seamlessly weaving their words into a powerful narrative. Lisa could picture Dina nodding, even smiling at their efforts. She felt the spirit of their movement grow stronger with each rehearsal. For once, they weren't just victims, they were a force. But as the clock ticked closer to the rally, that sense of unity was shadowed by anxiety. Lisa couldn't escape the prickling sensation at the back of her neck. Outside, the evening deepened and streetlights flickered on, casting long shadows that stretched ominously. One particularly late evening, as they put the finishing touches on their presentation, Lisa slipped outside for a breath of fresh air. The cool night nipped at her skin, but she welcomed the chill. Just as she gathered her thoughts, a rustling sound at the end of the deserted street made her heart stutter. "Who is there?" she called, her voice steadier than she felt. A figure emerged from the darkness. Lisa squinted, her heart in her throat. It was the man she had often seen lurking outside the center, watching them. The same man who had seen them rally and collaborate. "Lisa," he said, his voice low, almost intimate. "You're digging into things you don't understand." "What do you mean?" She shot back, anger flaring up. "We're seeking justice. We're done being quiet." He stepped closer, the dim light revealing a face that twisted into a smirk. "You think you're safe in numbers? This isn't a game. You're playing with fire, and you might get burned." Fear wormed its way into her gut, but before she could respond, he turned and disappeared into the shadows like a ghost. The emptiness of the moment clung to her like mist, thick and unsettling. Lisa's fists clenched. Was this what Dina was warning them about? The repercussions of speaking out? She returned inside, gathering her friends. They had to be ready for whatever came next. But as their presentation day approached, Lisa couldn't shake the unease. The tension felt palpable, ready to explode. She would stand firm for Malik and everyone else who had suffered. She just hoped it wouldn't cost them dearly. The sun rose on the day of the rally, casting a fiery glow over the horizon. People started gathering, their energy a mix of anticipation and anxiety. When Lisa spotted Dina stepping onto the stage, her heart soared. This was the moment they had all worked for. But as cheers erupted, something in the distance caught her eye, something dark, men in uniforms watching vigilantly from the periphery. Lisa's pulse quickened. What if this was the confrontation she had feared? "Keep it together," she whispered to herself. "This is bigger than all of us." With determination, she took a step forward, ready to share their message. But deep inside, she couldn't shake the feeling that their true test was only just beginning. What lay ahead in the chaos of the rally? Would they amplify their voice, or would the shadows silence them once more? As Lisa moved through the crowd, the buzz around her filled her with a sense of purpose. Each person in attendance was not just a face in the sea of bodies. They were a testament to resilience, hope, and a shared fight for justice. The words she'd practiced for weeks echoed in her mind, and she felt electric with adrenaline. Dina took the stage, and the crowd fell silent. "Thank you all for being here today." Dina's voice rang out, strong and clear. "We're here to shed light on the injustices that have plagued our community." She paused, her gaze sweeping over the crowd, igniting something within each person present. Lisa watched, her heart racing. This was it, the moment they had been working towards. But as Dina continued, Lisa's eyes wandered back to the men in uniforms, still lingering at the edges. Something about their presence felt off, a chill settling over her that she couldn't shake. The chant began to rise from the people around her, steady, rhythmic, as they united behind Dina's words. "No justice, no peace." The phrase echoed off the buildings, wrapping around Lisa like a warm blanket. Together, they were powerful, but just then a figure from the crowd broke away, moving with urgency. It was Sarah, her expression frantic, eyes wide with something Lisa couldn't quite place. Instinctively, Lisa's stomach dropped. What was happening? Lisa, Sarah shouted, her voice barely breaking through the growing commotion. The police, something's wrong. They're moving in. Panic flared in Lisa's chest. She knew that Dina was trying to keep the peace, but the threat of disorder was hanging over them like a storm cloud. The uniformed presence shifted as if coordinated, inching closer to the makeshift stage. "Everyone, stay calm," Dina called into the mic, her face betraying a flicker of concern. "We're here to stand united, not to provoke." But before she could finish, the officers surged forward, their unsmiling faces a testament to their intentions. "Back away from the stage," a voice blared through a megaphone, cutting through the energy of the crowd like a knife. "Leave, or we'll take action." Lisa's heart raced. "What do we do?" she whispered to Sarah. "Stick together. Don't let them intimidate you," Sarah replied, trying to sound brave despite the fear in her eyes. The crowd's chant faltered momentarily, uncertainty creeping like a shadow. Then a voice in the back called, "We have the right to be here. We will not be silenced." Renewed energy surged, and the chant resumed, louder this time. Lisa felt the heat of the moment. This was a pivotal point. She stepped forward, gripping Sarah's hand tightly. "We are not backing down," Lisa proclaimed, her voice ringing out above the chanting. "Not today. Stay back," an officer shouted again, but their urgency only fueled the fire of the crowd. Lisa could see Dina trying to negotiate, but the tension was impossibly high, like a drawn bowstring just waiting to snap. Suddenly, a loud crash shattered the air. The sound of barricades hitting the concrete echoed, and chaos erupted. Lisa's breath hitched. The rally was being transformed. What had started as a hopeful demonstration was spiraling into something dangerous. In the scuffle, she caught a glimpse of the dark figure again, the man who had threatened her before, lurking near the back. He watched with a twisted smile, seemingly enjoying the chaos unraveling before them. "Lisa," Sarah called, pulling her back just as a surge of people surged toward the exit. Lisa's fear collided with her desire to stand still, to fight for every person in that crowd, to honor Malik's story. But just when she thought she'd break, a voice rang out over the chaos, Dina, commanding and fierce. "We are not here to fight. We are here to heal." The crowd stilled momentarily, captivated by her presence. Every eye shifted to Dina, and Lisa felt her heart pounding fiercely, a new determination taking root. The moment hung in the air, fraught with possibilities, uncertainty, and a raw need for change. Were they about to turn the tide against the darkness encroaching, or were they inviting a storm? As the police lined up and the confrontation loomed, Lisa realized they were at crossroads. One wrong move could change everything. Will they push forward or retreat? What would it mean for Malik and all of them? And just then, another sound broke through the piercing wail of a siren, a harbinger of even more trouble to come. The stakes were rising, and Lisa couldn't help but wonder if they were prepared for what would follow. The sound of the siren twisted in the air, a warning shot in a standoff that felt like a movie unraveling before their eyes. Lisa's heart raced as the bright lights swept over the crowd, casting long shadows that flickered like phantoms. The moment teetered on the edge of chaos. "Stay together," Lisa shouted, gripping Sarah's hand more tightly. She could feel the tension in the air, thick and suffocating. The crowd was a living entity, breathing in unison as fear mingled with determination. They were not about to let their voices be drowned out. Dina took a deep breath, her impressive stature grounding the crowd like a lighthouse in a storm. "We're here for Malik. For all of us," she called out, earning murmurs of agreement. "Our pain is valid. Our stories matter." But the police didn't seem to have the same idea. They advanced, formation tightening, their shields shimmering under the afternoon sun, a stark reminder of the very real danger they posed. Lisa could see the fear rising in the eyes around her. Some people flinched, others stood firm. "Turn around, ladies and gentlemen," one officer shouted through the megaphone, his voice thick with authority. "Disperse now. This is an illegal assembly." Lisa felt the world tilt, uncertainty clawing at her heart. Were the lines drawn between justice and brutality? She remembered Malik's laugh, the warmth of his kindness. They weren't just fighting for laws, they were fighting for love, for lives that were stolen too soon. "Refuse to leave," someone shouted, reigniting the collective courage. The chant rose again, hitting a fever pitch. No justice, no peace. But the police began to push forward, creating an impenetrable wall. An uneasy knot formed in Lisa's stomach. She could feel the escalation, the air buzzing with potential violence. What if they start arresting people? What if thoughts raced through her mind like a runaway train? Sarah squeezed her hand. "We want to let them. We can't." Then, in the tumult, a woman pushed through the crowd, her face streaked with tears, and something in her demeanor commanded attention. The crowd quieted as she emerged, a living testament to the pain they had come to stand against. "Please," she cried, voice cracking. "My brother, he was killed. For nothing. We deserve justice." A silence enveloped them, raw and heavy. The crowd felt her anguish like a hammer pounding against their hearts. It transcended fear. It was a call to arms. "Your brother's name," Dina exclaimed, stepping forward. "Tell us his name." "Dante," she whispered, choked by her own sorrow. "He was unarmed, just walking home." A ripple of outrage rippled through the crowd, each person feeling the weight of that loss as if it were theirs. Lisa could see purpose igniting in the eyes around her, a renewed fire fueled by grief. Suddenly, the sound of a crash nearby broke the intensity, and Lisa's instincts kicked into overdrive. A barricade had fallen, and panic erupted. People surged toward the exit as if pushed by an unseen force. "Stay! Don't leave!" Dina shouted, arms raised, but fear had a way of spreading like wildfire. Within the surge, Lisa stumbled, losing her grip on Sarah's hand as the crowd pushed forward. Panic bubbled within her. She fought against the flow, fingers outstretched, hoping to find her friend again. But then, from the corner of her eye, she spotted him, the dark figure, stepping forward with an eerie calmness amidst the chaos. That twisted smile stretched as he took his position near the cops, as if orchestrating the madness unfolding before him. "Lisa!" Sarah's voice pierced through the din as she found her way back to Lisa, breathless. "We have to stand firm. We have to back Dina." Together, Lisa said, fear and determination battling it out in her chest. The crowd was fracturing, but they held the thin line, a heart beating for Malik, for Dante, for every life forgotten. But just as Lisa felt the pulse of hope surging forward, a flash of blue brightened the scene, and she heard the unmistakable sound of a canister being launched, a cloud of smoke spreading like a shroud over them. They were losing their grip. "Run!" Sarah shouted, pulling Lisa with her as chaos descended. Would they be out of time before they could find justice? Or was this just the beginning of something greater? In the heart of the storm, as tears stung her eyes, Lisa realized the fight wasn't just about their voices. It was about survival. Would they be silenced? Or could they push through the darkness that loomed ahead? The air was thick with chaos, the kind that felt electrifying and suffocating all at once. Lisa's heart raced as people around her surged in panic. The smoke billowed like dark clouds, choking out cries for justice. "Stay together," she shouted, but it felt like her voice was drowned by the chaos. Sarah squeezed her hand and pulled her away from the panic, but every direction seemed uncertain. Fear flickered in the air like the crackling sparks of a lit fire, threatening to explode with the wrong move. Yet amidst the swirling disarray, Lisa felt a deep resolve bubbling inside her. She was fighting for Malik, for Dante, and for every soul that had felt the weight of oppression. "Over here," Sarah shouted, guiding them toward a nearby corner of the parking lot where a group gathered. The crowd was chaotic, but Lisa saw Dina standing tall, her arms raised as she called for calm. "We are here to demand change. We will not be intimidated." Her words seared through the darkness, igniting a spirit of defiance that rippled through the crowd. Amid the tension, Someone was shouting out names, each name a heavy reminder of lives lost, lives fractured by violence. Lisa felt the energy shift. They were reclaiming their purpose. "We can't run," she insisted, her voice cutting through the smoke. "We have to stand." As if in response, a chorus of voices echoed her desire, growing louder with each heartbeat. "No justice, no peace." The chant swelled, building momentum until it surged like a wave against the oppression surrounding them. Lisa felt the heat of determination radiate from every person around her. They weren't just individuals anymore. They were a community united, strengthened by shared pain and vision. They pressed forward, guided by the conviction that they deserved to be heard. Then she saw him, the dark figure, lurking at the edge. That twisted smile had vanished, replaced by a scowl that suggested he underestimated them. Lisa sensed vulnerability within him, a crack forming in his bravado as he witnessed their power. "Now," she shouted, directing everyone to move as one toward Dina, whose voice swelled above the din. Dina's eyes glimmered with determination as she stepped closer to the front lines. "We demand accountability. These officers serve you, not the other way around." Her words echoed, amplifying what Lisa felt deep in her heart. This was at the tide was turning. With every voice joined in solidarity, the police hesitated, their formation faltering. The tension that hung in the air morphed from oppressive to electric, each heartbeat reverberating with hope. "Are we afraid?" Lisa shouted, breaking through the gathered crowd. "Are we ready to back down?" "No," the crowd replied with unified vigor. The energy surged, and even the officers seemed caught off guard, taken aback by the sheer force of the unity before them. Grits, their twisted harbinger of chaos, squirmed uncomfortably behind the badge, recognizing that this community standing for each other was something he could never dismantle. A burst of sirens wailed nearby. But in her heart, Lisa could feel a different sound, the sound of triumph, of lives wanting change rather than fear. "Dina," she shouted, using the deputy chief as a beacon. "Let us take it to them. Speak their truths. Let us make them listen." Dina nodded, raising her voice to pen a new narrative. "We're tired of being silenced. We want justice, we want acknowledgement, and we will not be afraid." As the crowd rallied around those empowering words, the thorny vines of oppression began to untangle. Lisa felt tears sting her eyes, not from fear, but from something pure, the promise of hope and transformation rising from the ashes of despair. And in that moment, Lisa realized this wasn't about just one name spoken out loud. It was about their entire community coming together, blazing a path forward. The officers approached, but there was hesitance now. Their angry postures softened, the determination in their faces reshaping into a flicker of understanding. "We see you," Lisa called out, her heart pounding with each step closer, her voice gripping the air like an unbreakable thread. "Your fear is known. Your anger is recognized. But we need more than acknowledgement. We need reform. We need to stop this from happening again." Each word she spoke felt powerful, a battle cry that resonated far beyond the asphalt. With every name called, they were stitching their collective story, weaving a tapestry of anger, grief, and hope. The darkness was crumbling, and as Lisa stood in the midst of it all, surrounded by those who dared to dream of a different future, she felt a huge weight lift. Together, they were unstoppable, igniting action where it had long been absent. As chants filled the air and eyes met in solidarity, the beauty of unity blossomed around them like morning light breaking through a stormy sky. "We will be heard," they echoed, each heartbeat affirming the power of community, the resilience of human spirit. In the surge of that moment, Lisa understood, no longer just advocating for one forgotten name, but for all, past and future, reviving hopes that once felt lost. Today, in this place, they stood firm. They would fight together, and when the world spun with shadows, they would be the light that refused to dim. As reality shifted beneath their feet, one thing remained clear. They were no longer just a whisper, but a resounding chorus that echoed with hope into an uncertain future. In the heart of the storm, they had found clarity together. They would rise. Now is the time to make a change. You need to subscribe now to follow this powerful journey and not miss the next exclusive stories. Don't wait, not even one more second to share this video. It's vital that the message reaches those who need it. Leave a like now to fuel the movement and feed the algorithm. Each click matters. Comment below your thoughts and feelings on this ending. Your voice must be heard. And most importantly, share instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation today. Let us keep the wave of change rolling.